Well, good evening. My name is Jason Robb. I am the band director at Rouse High School and Leander ISD, and I own a pageantry business where this is so bad, I want to do it all over again. This is the worst. I was prepared, and then I was unprepared because you changed the format.
Do you do anything else?
No, I'm just kidding. So I have a business, and I basically write drill for indoor drum lines, and I also write drill for marching bands, and I coordinate marching band production. So I'll help band directors basically come up with their show, put together design teams, and help them go from an idea all the way to the end. So,
do you do anything else?
I'm a father.
Oh my God! Do you do anything with the drum corps?
Yeah, I am the newly appointed program coordinator for the Madison Scouts Drum and Bugle Corps.
That was a really long introduction. That's not what I wanted.
I'm going to do it again.
No, we're keeping this in.
No.
Too bad. I wanted hi, my name is Jason Robb. I'm the director of bands at Rouse High School, and I'm the program coordinator for the Madison Scouts.
Oh, that's the worst. Corps. Everything I just said was so awkward and terrible.
Welcome to Sketchbook Podcast, a discussion about inspiration and process with artists, creators, and designers. As usual, I am your host, Daniel Montoya Jr., and today we are recording the first episode of 2020, and it just so happens that today is the first day of 2020. Let's get this out of the way first. Jason, I hear you are part of a cult, a group of folks that worship at the altar of a rodent and are constantly drawn to Orlando, Florida, like moths to a flame. I am, of course, talking about Walter Elias Disney World. As Jerry Seinfeld would say, what's the deal?
Well, that's true. I'm actually going tomorrow, which I think is great that you asked that. So
it's almost like I knew.
Hey, you know what's funny about this, and a lot of people don't know, is that I was actually very against going to Disney World. This all started with a spring trip at Cedar Park High School, and I was working with Evan Van Doren.
At Cedar Park High School?
At Cedar Park High School.
Oh, wow.
And we were planning our trip to go to Orlando.
Of course you were.
And I was literally just trying to irritate Evan about how I was. So we were Steve Wessel's the head band director, and I were literally trying to let's just do half Disney, half Universal. Maybe we could do, Universal has more thrills anyways. And so Evan knew that he was leading breadcrumbs the entire time. Mm-hmm. So I got hooked. It was the first time I was at Disney World with my son. He was 4 at the time. And I was watching the Magic Kingdom fireworks, and he was on my shoulders. And as the fireworks were going,
Evan was on your shoulders.
Little Evan Van Doren.
Little Evan Van Doren.
Yeah, my son Joseph was on my shoulders watching the fireworks, and I literally started crying because it was the most emotional. For some reason, it was the most emotional moment up to that point I had with him, and that became our thing. So I do love Disney, but I go, I spend when we go, we spend time, and it's a really good time for me to just focus in, shut out the world, and spend time with my son.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember the infamous Evan Van Doren quote about the globe at Universal Studios?
I do, yeah. Let's all remember that it was all started by a rotating globe.
Who is the bigger baby, you or Levi Chavis?
I think Levi is. I think that I can take it more than he can take it. Yeah.
He doesn't have a beard, so he still looks like a baby.
Well, he's got to get on that.
That's right. That's how you don't look like a baby.
Right. That's actually the inspiration for the beard, is to be non-baby-like.
Non-baby-like.
Right.
Jason, are you the godfather of Crank?
I am not the mayor of Crank City.
You're the mayor of Crank City.
Yeah.
That's a dubious honor.
I was bestowed upon me by others. I was elected.
You were elected?
I was elected as the mayor of Crank City.
I hear that if you are a mayor of a town, you can pretty much run for president now.
You can pretty much do whatever you want.
That's true. Yeah. That you are a white male.
That's exactly
right.
Yes.
So I guess we'll see you in the presidential debate this month.
Yep. Fundraising's going well.
Of course it is. Yeah. What years did you march the Madison Explorer Scouts?
2002 to 2004. So I would have aged out in 2006, but I tore the ligament that holds your foot this way, where your laces are going up.
He just hit the mic.
I did. The ligament in your foot that holds your laces going up ripped in the summer of 2004. And so I marched 3 weeks on it, which you're not supposed to do.
Apparently.
And so I had to have surgery on my ankle. I was not able to finish my last 2 years.
Wow. And little do we know that you walk with a fake foot now, right?
I do. I have a plastic foot, and actually my whole leg is metal, like airplane metal. Like Lieutenant Dan.
Like Lieutenant Dan. Yeah. You don't got any legs, Lieutenant Dan.
That's right.
What years did you teach at the Madison Explorer Scouts?
I taught from the summer of 2008 to the summer of 2014.
Gosh.
I know. That's a lot of time.
On July 7th, 2019, you shared the article about the Madison Scouts going gender inclusive on Facebook with the caption, "Cool. Hopefully it's some new designers next." Did that post age well?
It apparently did. It apparently did. And there was no connection directly between that Facebook post and me taking this position other than my wife giving me a lot of crap about it.
So you just willed this to happen.
I guess you could say I willed it to happen. I definitely willed some change. That story is kind of funny, though, because it literally just started. This whole me getting the job and us all taking these jobs all came from me just reaching out to Dan Peterson to see if he needed any help. And here we are. So
we are there.
Yeah.
Feel free to choose which adjective or adjectives you wish to answer with this next question. How excited, nervous, thrilled, anxious, terrified, humbled, blessed are you to be the program coordinator for the Scouts of Madison, Wisconsin? I
would say that that's all. I'm going to use a combination of different elements of what we're doing.
I'll allow it.
The first time that I got actually anxious / nervous about anything is as we've started to designing the costume. So we have like the final design for the costumes. The sketches are coming in the next 48 hours. And that has been the one thing that I've been, because you're like choosing what the Madison Scouts look like.
That is correct.
Everything else has just been thrilling. Like it's been really fun. It's been, working with the design team, working with the members, working with the admin team. All of that stuff's been really enjoyable. I would say that I definitely feel very, what's the word? The best word to describe it would be, it's not humble, because I am humble and I'm blessed in all that hashtag blessed and highly favored. But I think it's a really big responsibility. So I feel that weight on my shoulders.
The weight of all of Wisconsin.
All of Wisconsin.
Except for La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Did you know that Wisconsin actually only had 19 kids march drum and bugle corps last summer? 19.
Aren't there 2 drum corps from the state of Wisconsin?
Yep, only 19 from Wisconsin March Drum Corps.
And did they march Madison or the Blue Stars?
12 of them marched Madison.
Oh, did the other 7 march Blue Stars?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Wow.
Yeah.
So are you calling out the state of Wisconsin right now?
I'm saying that we need to help support music education there so they have more kids. Because obviously that's just a sign of music education in that state, and that the students are not wanting to participate in higher level music making outside of what they're doing.
Let's ask a real hard-hitting question. Maybe if one of those corps rehearsed in the state of Wisconsin.
That's the goal. So we actually, part of our everydays are going to be, so that'll be a start. But
wait, what? Is this breaking news?
I don't think it's breaking news, but there's a week that we've got locked down before our first show that's going to be in a suburb of Milwaukee.
Milwaukee,
Algonquin for the good land.
That is correct. Yeah. That is correct. Let's put it all on the line right here and now for everyone to hear.
Here we go.
Evan Van Doren, Mike Bishop, or Josh Wendt. Either only pick one of them or rank them in order of best friendness.
Best friend is Evan Van Doren is for sure my best friend.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Mike Bishop is crying right now.
No, Mike will be okay. He's a tough guy.
Who's number 2?
That would be hard to say.
That would
be hard to say.
Oh, so you're not going to
rank
them. You're only picking one.
Yeah, Evan is my best friend.
Was Evan your best man at your wedding?
He was not. Actually, Evan and I did not know each other when I got married very well. So I got married in the summer of 2011, and we actually met barely in the summer of 2010.
Were you the best man in his wedding?
I was the best man in his wedding.
Oh, so all right.
Yeah,
Who was the best man at Mike Bishop's wedding?
I don't know the answer.
Oh, it wasn't you.
It wasn't me. I don't know who the answer. I know that the groomsmen were pageantry people, but I don't know who his actual best man was.
Pageantry people.
Yeah, like Andrew Markworth was in his wedding.
Probably Philly pageantry people, right?
No, more like percussion pageantry people.
Oh, percussion pageantry.
Yeah, very rhythm.
All rhythm. Was the wedding at Bargos?
It was at Bargos. Yeah,
that makes sense.
We all held up a beer together. with some corn nuts.
And you watched an Eagles game when they won the. It makes sense. It makes sense. Jason Robb. What is the last piece of music you listened to?
The last piece of music I listened to was actually the Madison Scouts Part 3 source music, and I'm not going to say what that is because I hope that will not be open yet.
It's interesting because that's the last piece of music I listened to because I was playing it for my wife earlier today.
Perfect.
Wow. All right. You might be the first guest on this podcast to actually like the Dallas Cowboys. I have a few questions that I'd like to ask you.
I'm looking forward to it.
Why do you like the Cowboys?
Well, I just grew up around people. I grew up in Dallas, so that's one part of it. Number 2 is that I grew up around Dallas Cowboy fans. So like my aunts and uncles, family, that was it. And I'll tell you, in recent years, it has definitely been a test of my commitment level to the organization because it has been a hard battled 10 years.
Only 10 years?
Well, that's where I felt, as I've come into be like a mature adult, now I realize that I'm choosing to still follow this team. So
that's correct. How do you feel about all the Eagles fans and Cowboys haters that have come onto this podcast?
It doesn't bother me because I don't live my life based on what other people think.
That's fun. How old were you when the Cowboys were last relevant?
Define relevant.
They won the Super Bowl.
Won the Super Bowl. Well, that was at least 15 years ago. So
it was 95.
So that was 20. Was that 25?
Almost 25 years ago.
Yeah,
oh my gosh!
I was just a little Robb then.
You were a baby Robb.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Jason Garrett?
I think that right now, Jerry Jones, when this podcast comes out, we'll know.
We should know.
Which will be interesting.
Yes.
But I think that they're going to find some desk job for him and try and pay him a lot of money, but I don't think that's what he wants to do. I think that he wants to be a football coach.
Yeah.
I think his time is done. I think he is ready to go, but I don't think he's the problem. He is a big part of the problem, though.
That is correct. It is Wednesday, January 1st, and he has not been fired.
He has not. He has a scheduled meeting tomorrow with
Maybe, when does his contract end? Like
today.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Like they didn't want to fire him. They just chose not to renew his contract.
They've already had 2 meetings with the upstairs.
Really?
Yeah, with the Joneses.
Oh God, they make him dance for his supper? Is that what it is?
I don't know. Who knows what they do in those meetings?
I don't know.
They probably just count their money.
Scrooge McDuck style?
Yeah, exactly. They just swim in it.
That's correct. Yeah. That's correct.
I want all of my salary paid in gold coins so I can put it in my safe and I can dive into it.
I don't imagine it's as comfortable or as safe as it looks on
it. Looks amazing. Yeah.
Did Ryan Johnstone really hate me because of all my Cowboys trolling?
I think that he just, being friends with Daniel Montoya is like appreciating a fine wine or like a great scotch. The first time you drink it, it's just it's a little strong. So like a fine wine, a relationship with a Daniel Montoya gets better with age.
That's a good one.
I know. Yeah. Oh, wow. I thought about it.
Yeah. You thought about this? You knew I was going to ask you about Ryan Johnstone.
Well, no, I just, I like to explain my relationships with all of my friends.
That's true. That's true. Jason, let's get serious.
All right.
Who inspired you to go into pageantry?
That's hard. Well, my very first run-in was like most of us when I was in high school marching band, and I was a student at Berkner High School.
LV Berkner.
LV Berkner High School, and shocker, we did a show with Shostakovich in it.
This now Mike Brashear and Pete Tolhuisen.
That is correct. That is correct. So it was a Shostakovich 10 show, which I know is really groundbreaking.
I don't know that anybody uses that anymore.
Well, that's because they're afraid of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. They certainly don't play it the way it is written. But anyway, continue. It's not a B flat.
So that was actually my first marching band show, and I loved it. It was awesome. I actually skipped summer band. And because I went on. I was like one of those high school band kids that like didn't have the high school band calendar on my calendar, and so we had like a family vacation. And now it's funny because I get that in karma every year because there's always that family that isn't aware that the band calendar has been published 2 years ahead of time. Right. So that's how I kind of like anyone else. I really loved high school marching band. I think that when I got to college, I was I marched the Madison Scouts because one of the assistant band directors at my high school was on the brass staff of the Madison Scouts.
And that was
his name is Jacob. Oh my gosh, I was going to forget Jacob Garlinger.
Okay.
He is actually an assistant principal at Hebron now.
Oh my gosh.
Which is cool because he, like, whenever the band goes on big trips and stuff, he's the chaperone.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I get to I'll go to a movie or I'll go to dinner with him because he's always helping out. And he's a principal that will literally go help tune the band in the warm-up room.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
There you go.
So he's a pretty good band director. But anyways, so that's how I marched the Madison Scouts. And then, when I got to college, I became what I felt like was I tried to be a serious trumpet player. I was okay. I got to play, I got to sub with the Houston Symphony, help with the Houston Ballet. But I was trying to make it as a professional trumpet player. So I kind of really got hardcore into marching band. And then I kind of scaled back. And then 2008, Nicholas Williams.
Oh, Dr. Nick.
Yeah, was really good friends with one of my college band directors. And he basically asked me to be on the brass staff of the Madison Scouts in 2008. And so that kind of willed me back in. And then I was a middle school band director at that time and decided that I wanted to become a high school band director. And that's when I moved to Austin. And
where'd you move to?
I moved to actually moved to Leander, but I moved to work in an Austin suburb.
Gotcha.
Cedar Park High School.
Just wanted to clarify.
From Cedar Park, Texas.
That's right. They are not in Austin.
And so I think that it just, it's something that just I've gradually gotten into, and I spent time teaching and I spent time doing all of those things, and then just naturally you just start working on a show. So when I got to Cedar Park High School, the band was very good. We had maybe the worst Cedar Park High School marching band show of all time.
Was it the Respighi show? Oh wait, that was Jeremy. Sorry, Jeremy.
It was a Romeo and Juliet show.
Oh, that one where he jumps off the cliff at the end of the show, right?
Off the staircase. Yeah, I was in charge of making that staircase. It was awful.
Oh wow, good for you.
So at that point, I became very interested in putting a show together the right way because our show was so terrible. It was awful. So anyways, so that's kind of how I got into it. And then, the color guard director and Evan Van Doren and I put the show together for 2014, 2015. And then that's just kind of how I got someone asked me to help me put the marching band show together. And then that's how I got asked to start designing.
Wow. Okay. That was a long answer to a question. According to your Facebook likes.
Oh boy.
The only athletes that you have liked are Rob Gronkowski, formerly of the New England Patriots, Tom Brady of the New England Patriots, J.J. Watt of the Houston Texans, and Arian Foster, also formerly of the Houston Texans. I thought you called yourself a Cowboys fan.
That's true. So there's a good story between.
Is there?
Yeah, there is. Okay, so
I'm sure it's long.
It is not. It's super succinct. Okay, the very first year that I played fantasy football, I drafted Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski, and that's why I had them. I was just on Facebook and liked them. Now the J.J. Watt story and the Arian Foster story are better.
Okay.
So do you want the long version or the short?
Wow, I mean, we got unlimited tape on this. So.
Perfect. So when I was living in Houston, I played for the Houston Texan brass band. I can't remember what it's called. Now, it used to be called the Bullpen Pep Band. And so we basically on draft day, we'd go it's like a little marching band would go and play for the rich people in the boxes or go play for the tailgaters. Inside Reliant Stadium, I think it's NRG Stadium now.
It is NRG.
There's these hidden waiting rooms in the four corners where they're leather couches and big LCD TVs. It's awesome. In between gigs, me and some of my friends were sitting in one of those areas, and Arian Foster and J.J. Watt came in, and I got to meet Arian Foster. He follows me on Twitter.
He does not.
He does.
What?
He was super nice guy, super down to earth. I was showing him. We showed each other pictures of our kids. It was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, super
and J.J.
nice.
Watt didn't.
J.J. Watt was awesome too. Brian Cushing was also in there.
Yes.
He was not you could not actually hold a conversation with him because he was not a super intelligent human being. He was I hit human with football.
Yes, that's right. J.J. Watt, we have something in common. He went to Central Michigan for his first year, transferred because they wanted to make him into something else. Then he went to the University of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
go Badgers.
Go Scouts.
Yeah, we'll get to hang out on that campus this summer together.
What is it? You're just dropping Madison Scouts information. I'm not even asking about it.
Yeah.
All right. This is going to be a long one, I'm sure. Who are some of your heroes and inspirations?
In life?
If you want.
Well, my dad is awesome. My dad is a zoologist.
What?
So yeah, he is a Dr. Robb.
Wow,
yeah.
Robb.
I know. Yeah, Robb. Yeah. So he basically works on wildlife refuges and when they're the government acquires land, makes a wildlife refuge, and he's super hardworking, awesome human being. My mom is an interior designer. I don't know how my mom and my dad are not married now, but my mom is an interior designer, and I think that's where I learned how to have an eye for design things in general, just because of that. So my mom and dad, huge inspiration. And then my wife is the most amazing human on the earth. She's literally the nicest person, way nicer than you. Yeah. So I would be a much pokier person if it wasn't for her. Yeah.
I think a lot of us would be if it wasn't for our wives.
That's probably true.
Or spouses or whatever you want to call them. Wow. That wasn't that long of a question.
Yeah, I'll try to keep it succinct.
Jason, how many episodes of this podcast have you listened to?
I've listened to all of them.
No, you have not.
I have.
Which one's your favorite one?
I really like Evan's. I really like Mike's.
Of course you would like Evan and Mike's.
Well,
great.
But Evan's was the first one.
That's right. OG.
Yeah, and it didn't have as much of the format. It was just raw, two people talking.
We were. Yeah, we kept it real.
Yeah, it was good.
That's back when the podcast was about talking. Now it's all corporate.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah, I like Jude Bottens also. I thought that he's a really, really interesting person to talk to.
He is a lot. We could have kept it on and talked for 2 more hours.
Yeah.
That's who's your least favorite episode?
I don't know that I have a least favorite episode. I am personally not a fan of the long drawn out dissecting the marching band stuff that you and Jen do. So.
Is it because we were talking about Rouse and they got roused?
No, I don't know. We're done. We're done with marching band season, and I don't want to hear about it.
But the kids want to hear about it.
Yeah, well, I'm not a kid.
That's a good one. Speaking of being a kid, what's been the most rewarding project thus far in your career?
My favorite two band seasons. I would say band seasons, and I'll give you one drum corps season.
Oh, okay, sure.
2015.
I didn't say projects. I said project, but all right. Continue.
Okay, so it would be a toss up between those two. Is when I was at Cedar Park and we won the state championship. That
what
was just
that show.
It
What's
was
Opera Doc?
What's Opera Doc? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Roland's favorite title. Roland Chavez hated that title.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah,
he's a hater.
That was just a really magical season. It just everything seemed to click.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2017, when the Rouse band made the state finals for the first time. That season, everything went wrong the entire year. And it was we just kept pushing, and then to make it to state and then also to make it to finals was really awesome. Mm-hmm. So a tie between those two.
You're not going to mention the Madison Scout thing?
Madison Scouts.
I thought you said you had a drum corps show.
I do, and I was thinking of it. I was telling those other two. My favorite show to be a part of drum corps was Scouts 2003. That was the Gold, Green, and Red show.
That's right. I think there's the music of Benoit Jutras.
Yeah, yes, Cirque du Soleil show.
Getting back into finals.
We got back into finals, and there was a lot of the teachers that I still have good relationships with taught me that year. So Jennifer, who's on the staff with us at Scouts, taught me. It's awesome.
More top secret information coming out here.
That's not top secret.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
She taught me. She was the guard caption head, but but she did other stuff with the drum corps. And then, Jeremy Hunt and Ben Potts, who I still have a relationship with.
Ben Potts, popular listener.
Yeah, yes. Ben Potts. So they were my visual caption head. Jamie Thompson was the drill writer.
Yes.
Yeah, who wrote drill for me when I was teaching at Cedar Park and now in the last 2 years at Rouse, which has been awesome. So a lot of good relationships that I still have now were from that summer specifically.
Well, and so it wasn't on here, but this is why I like doing these conversations live, because it segues into this. So you taught the Madison Scouts for the first time when they didn't make finals for the first time, correct?
That is incorrect.
That is incorrect. Okay.
So I marched the Madison Scouts didn't make finals in 1974, and then they won in 75. And then my first summer in 2002, they didn't make finals.
Oh, that's what it was. You marched when they did. So, but in the modern era, it was like the first time they didn't make finals.
That's correct. But then my second year, they made finals. And then my first year on staff, they in 2007, they did not make finals.
Oh my God. That was your first year on staff?
No, that was the year before I got on staff. And so then I got on staff in 2008, and then we made finals.
Gotcha. Okay.
However, my second year, we did not make finals again. And then my third year, we made finals again.
This is all too confusing for me.
Yeah. It's really a toss-up because you have a 50-50 chance of me being involved in the Madison Scouts of us not making finals. So,
I don't like those odds. Wait a minute.
But every time that they have come back, that's not true, because there have been several times that they have emerged back in the finals, and I have been a part of the drum corps.
Right. But nevertheless, you have been involved in some way, shape, or form, whether as alumni, a fan, a hater, or whatever.
Yeah, right? That's true. Yeah, a Facebook hater apparently.
Well, if you put a post on Facebook, you get the job you want.
Yeah, the joke is right now, I did not care for Episode 9 of Star Wars.
Oh.
And I put a post on Facebook, and then the joke is that now I will somehow be involved in Star Wars, which is obviously not true. And then I am not happy with how the Cowboys are doing the things that they're doing. So the joke is that I will.
Can you imagine if Jura were to call you up?
I would gladly tell him, like on Seinfeld when George Costanza goes off.
They need cotton uniforms.
That's correct.
Is that why the Cowboys are not winning?
So
right
that's
now?
what I would be like with George Costanza.
You already talked about this, but I don't care. The Rouse Band seemed to jump out of nowhere onto the scene in 2017 with their show Lotus. What steps were taken to take that program to a higher level?
When I took the job at Rouse, I was just ignorant enough to not see the signs that I shouldn't have taken the job. Nothing has been as fulfilling as taking that job, but basically everything was wrong. So the biggest thing was just making sure that the culture of the kids being good was right, and then the culture of the staff wanting to be good was right. The show was designed by Aaron Gant and I. So it was actually Aaron's idea. And
Philip Aaron Gant.
That's right, Philip Aaron Gant. And then between the two of us, I basically destroyed his idea the way that he wanted it. Yeah, but it was really good. I actually wrote some of the drill that summer. I did. Pete Weber, it was actually 4 drill writers that wrote that drill, but a little bit of Jeff Sackdig, and then Michelle passed away. So then also Pete Weber and then myself wrote the drill. So, and then Aaron did a lot of the ballad staging himself.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah. So it was a really hard uphill project, but I would say that there was not as much calculated effort on that as just raw trying to tear it out and fix it. J-Bo Cook arranged that book, and Ryan had to basically rearrange the entire thing because our kids play their instruments so poorly. They had to basically rearrange everything so the kids could play it.
Oh, I see. So you already said this, but how hard was it?
It was way too hard at the beginning.
No, not the show. How hard was that, like, first year, or getting the band?
Well, so 2017 was our second year, and it was harder than the first year. It was so hard.
Wait, 17 was the second year?
Yeah, 2016 was the first year.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That's right. Because you had just come from Cedar Park. Did you had just one state?
We had just one state.
And then you're like, see ya, I'm going to go win state with Rouse, or what?
Well, I knew that I wanted to be a head band director, and how often are head band director positions in Leander ISD going to come open?
Who knows?
Yeah, so not often, because nothing has opened since I've taken this job, so I made the right call. Yeah,
that's true, because Glenn had already opened.
That is correct.
Wow.
Yeah. Right. So it was really difficult. The first year was just like put out all the fires, but there was a lot of huge senior class because Glenn split off from Rouse. Right. So junior senior class were really big. 2017, the show was just too hard. The music that we picked was too hard, and I learned a lot just through designing that show. But it was for sure the hardest thing I've ever done.
Wow. To what or whom do you attribute the growth and success of the program?
It's definitely been a lot of people putting like all of their effort. So, Ryan Johnstone, I was able to hire right when I took the job, basically. So him and I kind of co-direct the program. And so there's a lot of communication on what we should do. We've been able to hire a lot of great middle school staff. We get half of Styles Middle School, where Darcy Williams is the head band director, and Jenna Yee. And we get a lot of really good players from them. And then the Wiley, our main feeder, we have all new band directors there now, and they've been working really hard to support us. I don't know that there's one thing. I think that everyone has just been all in. The color guard right now is like fantastic. Jen Barton is there and she's incredible. We hired Caitlin Hall, now Wolf. She's amazing. There's just been like a lot of like things getting better along the way. We've never had any kids make region band or percussion ever. And then Drew Sines came from Westlake, 1 kid the first year, and we had 4 kids this year. So we had like 4 kids going to area. So in our
awesome.
and in that in our region, it's like super competitive with Vandergrift, Cedar Park, all those programs. So he's doing that on percussion. So slowly just getting people to come in and make things better one step at a time.
Right on. Jason, what would you say is your most prized material possession?
Oof, most prized material possession.
That's correct. That's what I said. Oh, sound effects.
I don't even know. I'm not like a thing person. I will tell you that the one thing I like has to be if I lost my laptop, my life would be over. I wouldn't know what to do.
Wow. Didn't you say you wiped your laptop?
I cleaned it out but I saved everything on it.
Oh, well, that's important.
I would say my most prized material possession would probably be my wedding band.
Of course.
And then the second thing would be that laptop. If I lost that laptop, my life would be over.
Wow. Well, if you lost that ring, I'm sure your life would be over too, right? Your wife would be over.
There you go.
You have joined the new generation of program coordinators or program organizers, as I've taken to call them. Not saying that's what you are, but...
That's okay.
Both current and former band directors such as Jeremy Spicer, Dan Morrison, Levi Chavis, and now yourself help design and guide programs. What are some of the advantages of hiring current or former band directors as program coordinators or program organizers?
Well, I think basically what we're seeing now is that band directors have a lot to do, too much to do, you might say.
I would.
And they want people to help do that portion of their job. So like manage the design team, make sure that things are getting delivered on time, all of that stuff. So if you have a band director that knows that day-to-day life, that's what you're hiring. So someone like that can come in and basically take that stuff off your plate for a fee, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Do you find that oftentimes you're just working as another band director?
I personally don't, because of what I do, like how I do it. Like, so if we've worked on projects together.
We have, thank you.
Yeah, I try and get things organized, but I also want to empower the designer to kind of do what they do.
Sure.
So I also try to work with people that I know are reliable. You know, one of the things is always really rough is like drill. Like, I don't want to get drill. When am I going to get drill? All that stuff. I try and hire designers that do that just as part of who they are, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense. It seems like in a lot of ways, band directors just need help with the process of designing and or the organization of it all. Would you agree with that?
I would say that's true. I also think that typically, like, you have band staffs that don't know what to worry about and what not to worry about. They worry about things in general that people don't care about, and they spend a lot of time talking and going over a detail that doesn't matter, so they waste time.
Yeah, you also have a lot of young band directors straight out of college, which I have been. They're like going to set the world on fire with the hardest marching band show known to man. You're like, no, calm down.
Yeah, and there's just a lot of, everyone comes out of a design meeting with an idea, honestly, that's probably pretty good. You know,
sure,
it's like, but then it's like, what do you do to take that idea to put it on the field? You know, and that's the part that I think a lot of people need more guidance with. And so for me personally, when I'm doing this, I like to try and be very visible so the band directors see what we're doing, because ideally it would be great if they could do it. Because here's the thing, like, every high school band in Texas can't hire, or I don't think should hire a programmer. We didn't used to. It's this job that we've kind of like created for ourselves. And really, there should be more education on how to help those people learn, because it's not rocket science.
No.
Or else I wouldn't, I'm like way dumber than most people. And so there are things that you learn, and you learn through trial and error, and people are afraid to like really spend a lot of time pouring details over it.
According to my own brother, Martin, the description to this podcast is incorrect because I don't always talk about process. So to all the haters out there, here we go.
The one hater.
That's right.
Yeah, your brother.
Let's talk about your process when designing your own show.
So the Rouse show?
Yeah.
Okay. So it really depends how we start. Like, the idea doesn't have a process, because like you can have a visual idea, you can have a musical idea. Like, I think the show that we're going to do at Rouse this year is based on a movie soundtrack. Okay, so you just take that music, and then it kind of like, movies or music written to an idea visually, and then you go from there, and then you have to start pacing. So for me, specifically, it's about pacing the audio and pacing the visual. So if you're working music, then you have to go through and pace how you want that to work, and get some sketches going. And then you have to like go back, take 2 steps back, and decide how is the visual going to match that. And so like what are we seeing? What is the guard doing? What do we look like? And really making some decisions on what you want to see before you start actually putting that all together. And then you have to do that through every minute of the show. So I think that the biggest thing that I would say that my process is being really thorough about what we think we want to see or hear before we actually start writing it. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah, that would be like the simplest answer I could give you.
Sure. How is the process different when designing for other high school programs?
The biggest process is different is we're adding more people. Okay, so at Rouse, it's mostly me and Jen Barton, and then Ryan has a lot of input on the music. When I'm going to a high school, it's me and the design team, and then I have all the opinions of these other band directors. So some schools that I work with want to be really involved, and then some schools just let us do whatever we want.
Right.
So like you and I work at Los Fresnos, he just basically gives me the thumbs up, and then we can go. And then, or he's like, no, I'm not sure I like that, but he's very open and wants us just to do it for him. And then there's other places that they want to be involved.
Sure.
So it's not good or bad. It's just like each band program, you kind of have to treat differently how you go through the process. Obviously, the more involved the band directors are, the slower it is because you have more input.
So get out of the way, band directors.
Yeah, not necessarily. Yeah, one of the shows I'm going to do this year, I think one of the best ideas that we're doing was a band director's idea.
Oh, is it one we're working on again?
It is not, unfortunately.
Oh,
but one of the worst ideas last year was a band idea that a band director had to do.
Yes, we know how those shows go. Yeah, so band directors, back off. Just pay our checks. No, I'm just kidding. But yes, pay our checks. Now, as we have talked about multiple times, you're the program coordinator for the Madison Scouts. Let's talk about the process for putting that show together.
That's been interesting just because it's the first time I've done a drum corps.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I mean, I was around.
Wait, what have you done, Jason?
Nothing.
How are you qualified to be a program coordinator for a drum corps?
I'm not. And I was on staff for a long time, so I got to see what those people did and how it affected me as an educational staff member. And most of the times, there was a lot of things that affected me negatively. So that's always in the back of my mind. The hardest thing is that everyone on the design team, this is like their big project. So when you're doing a band, everyone is kind of just relaxed and you're just kind of, you're a professional and you're doing the things you need to do. But the weight of this is going to be on the field all summer. A lot of people are going to see it and it's going to represent my work. Everyone is just a little bit on edge. I would say that the Madison design team is for sure, vibe is really good and we're really relaxed, but I still can tell the weight of it is on everyone's mind all the time. So the process has for sure been, I am less in the creative process at the Madison Scouts than I am when I'm doing a band. So the band, typically it's my idea. I'm doing all the colors. I'm doing all the aesthetics. I'm doing all the music selections with feedback from people. The Madison Scouts, it's like the 7 of us all doing 1/7 of the part. And then, some of us give and take more.
Sure.
So the hard part is I'm not creating anything here. For like when I'm doing the aesthetics and stuff at marching bands, I get to pick what they look like in costumes in here, but there's someone that does it at the Madison Scouts. So it's almost, I'm doing less in terms of actually creating, but I also am doing a lot more because, there's just a lot of nuts and bolts. We onboarded like 60 people and I had to basically interview all those people. So it's just a lot of work.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
I don't envy you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're part of it. Yeah.
Gosh, I am, aren't I? Is there a person or persons that you credit with jump-starting your career?
A couple people, for sure, it would be Fred Velez. Fred Velez is the band director at Lone Star College in Kingwood. He used to be the assistant band director at Sam Houston. He was one that really helped me network with a lot of he's the person that introduced me to Nick Williams, and that's how I met Jeremy Spicer. So my head band director, my very first job, Jennifer Dillard, she's the middle school band director at Knox Junior High in the Woodlands. Amazing band director. She basically taught me everything I know about teaching in a classroom in terms of like actually getting the kids to do what they're supposed to do. Jeremy Spicer and Steve Wessels, big impacts on me when it came to Houston, or came from Houston to Cedar Park. In terms of drum corps, the singular most influential person is for sure Donnie Van Doren. So I know Evan talked about his dad on his podcast, and you go back and listen to that.
Oh, okay.
He's basically the bee's knees. Like he's the man, and he constantly is looking out for me and helping me. So it's been really awesome.
The cat's pajamas.
The cat's pajamas for sure. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So, Jason, you use a Mac, right?
I do.
So why are you using Adobe Reader and not Preview?
I have a hard time with both of them. So Preview's a little limited. You can't use like, it's funny. I put this thing on Facebook, having trouble with Adobe, and everyone's like, you should use Preview. But you can't do like a lot of binding and things that are really easily on Preview like you can on Adobe.
Oh, is that so?
It's so.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah. So I haven't found a solution yet, but it'll be fine.
Okay, I'm glad. I was really worried for
I know,
you.
you're on the edge of your seat.
I am. Jason, who would you say is one designer or performer or teacher that we should be listening to?
I have 2.
Oh,
okay. And I'm not just saying this because I'm on your podcast, but one is you and the other one is Josh Wendt.
Oh, well, let's talk about Josh first.
Okay, yeah. So Josh Wendt is on the design team for us at Madison. He does a lot of bandography. But he does choreographs. He also does a lot of programming for indoor drum lines. And I think that he is probably the most talented underknown person in our activity, I think.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I hired him to be the visual coordinator of the Madison Scouts.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, I think he's brilliant. But the other part is he's really organized, and most super highly creative people struggle with just being organized and getting to the things they need to.
That is correct.
And he doesn't do that at all.
That's awesome. He's also 19, so that's great.
I think he's actually 14.
14?
He just looks older because he doesn't shave.
He doesn't shave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
Josh went. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. You can talk about me if you
Well,
want.
it was funny because when I got the Madison job, I literally, because my best friend is the arranger for the Santa Clara Vanguard now.
Mike Bishop, that is correct.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, your best friend.
When I got offered the Madison job, he was not the arranger for the Santa Clara Vanguard.
Oh my, that's
so-
at the time, correct.
At the time. So I did call him and let him know that I was going to hire you because I wanted him to make sure he understood like our relationship. The two arrangers that I work with the most are you and Evan Van Doren.
Yes, that is correct.
And you're very different.
We are.
But for the Madison Scouts, I know that I am organized and I can help create processes and make sure that I empower people around me. But I wanted someone that was highly creative. And I think that you're the most creative person in band right now. I think you are.
Oh my God.
I know.
Jason.
You're super creative. And it's like, I see things in others that they cannot see in themselves. No, but I just knew that it was going to be a perfect project for you and I to work on together.
Well, we can divulge what we did the year before, right? We was it a text conversation?
You go. Why don't you tell the story?
I believe. I wish I could search it right now. You said, "Who are the top 3 drum corps? Your dream drum corps?" And I mentioned 2 of them that were third place, but right off it was like Madison Scouts, and that was my dream drum corps since I saw him in '93, and it was like, oh, I would love to get my hands on that program because I think I would be a good fit. And we dreamt about it, and then a year later, boom, it happened.
I know. He was so Daniel Montoya was the first person I called after my wife. So
I was doing a sassy camp.
Yeah. So the crazy thing is that when we stood and listened to, and I haven't told you this, we stood and listened to the horn line play the first 2 impacts of the 2020 show.
Production.
I had literally multiple people come up and tell me in my ear, he's like, "You made the right decision. You made the right decision."
No way, really?
Yeah, because
Chris you're not going to tell me who it is?
Not on air.
Yeah.
But you nailed it, and it's going to be great. I can't wait.
It was truly a good feeling to stand in front of them and
they weren't even good yet.
Can you imagine?
I know it's going to be a blast.
Blast?
Yeah.
No, we gave away the title of the show, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
No,
Blast 2020.
That's right.
Back on the football field.
Blast on the field. We just call it Blast Theater on the drum corps field.
Yeah, Jim Mason's going to sue us.
Yeah, well, that's okay. You are at Rouse High School, and Rouse High School is in Leander ISD, and I asked this of Zach Santos, but we'll ask you, what makes Leander ISD so special?
I think that Leander ISD, well, I mean, it is really special, but the band director community in that district is what's awesome. I actually think Jeremy Spicer is the person fully responsible for the reason it is with his leadership company. Really? Oh. Well, if you think about it, like a lot of the high school band directors in Leander ISD spend some of their summer working in this leadership camp company that we both work on. And I think that, any band director is welcome in any band hall in the district. And I don't know a lot of places like that. We're constantly helping each other. Also, I think that the best middle school programs in the country are there. So they're just feeding these amazing players and amazing humans to these high school bands. And that's why it is. So we also have some just incredible leaders like Mike Howard and Brian Christian and Steve Wessels, and they've kind of been rooted and just basically leading the charge. Robert Saladen was an assistant at Leander High School for a ton of years before he became the head band director. So it's the culture of that. Another person that I think helped jumpstart the middle school culture is Manuel San Luis. He was the head middle school band director at Cedar Park Middle School forever. He was the first person to take his band to Midwest, and then Robert Herrings took, and now it's like every year, something Leander's
some Leander's there. Yeah.
So I think that, it's the people. And I think that people just think that we have all this money, which we don't, or we have all of this stuff happening, that it's not true. We have a lot of really great things, but the people are what's making it amazing. If one of us leaves, someone else will come into that spot, and the other band directors will show them the ropes, and they'll make sure that they do a good job.
Let's talk about money. Rouse, are they a Title I school?
They are not a Title I school anymore, but they were.
They were a Title I school.
My first year, 2016, we were still Title I. 2017, we were like 3 percentage points away. And we've come, our socioeco has come up a little bit. We're about 26% free to reduce lunch. It's actually identical to like Hebron, who is actually like a lot of people, that's a rich white school.
Yeah, no,
not so much.
It is not. Are y'all the highest percentage free lunch in the district?
No, Glenn High School is right
Glenn
now.
High School. And then y'all?
And then us.
And then Leander, I assume, after
and
you?
then Leander, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Because, like you said, there's the myth that Leander's the land of milk and honey and nonstop money. And of course, everyone takes private lessons and And
No, and that's just, I mean, that's because the community loves band.
Yeah.
You know, I've got a mother who works at 2 shifts a day at IHOP and pays for her son's trombone lessons.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, and, you know, even like Vandegrift, I mean, there are some very wealthy families that attend Vandegrift, but there are also kids in that band that live in, you know,
There's
not project housing.
Right down
That's
the
right.
street from Vandegrift.
And they literally just, I mean, some of those kids, like other band parents will help raise money to pay for their band dues. So if you talk to Katie Van Doren about it, like she'll tell you that, you know, they have a lot, but there's other kids in that band program that need a lot of assistance.
Sure. Yeah. If not band, what else would you be doing?
Well, right now it would be Disney because that's like the mode of life I'm in. I have a little bit of like an obsessive personality though. So I like there was a couple of years ago, I actually got certified to be a PGA swing coach.
What?
Like, yeah. Like when I was living in Houston.
You're the whitest guy I know.
I'm so white. Yeah. I'm so white. But yeah, like I get it like fixated on something and then like I wear it out and then I go to the next thing.
Ah,
yeah.
yes.
So I think that if I did something else right now, I'd want to be a stay-at-home dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my son is 9. I just like, you know, we were about to finish our winter break and I just want to spend as much time with him as possible. I think that if I had to do something else, I definitely would want to do something in like marketing or advertising or blogging or something where you're basically making your own hours and producing content and covering things. I think that's really interesting.
A YouTube channel?
Yeah, YouTube's like if I shoe-tube channel.
You could do that. You could do that.
Yeah,
yes.
I don't know if my wife would let me spend that much money on shoes to review.
I did get an angry Instagram story from her.
I know.
Yeah, she cursed my name and
when
right
I
to
got
my
those
face,
Yeezys, yeah, I know.
to my face.
She didn't curse you.
I mean, she said it with a tone.
She did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was implied.
Yeah.
You were born in Columbus, Ohio.
I was.
I have visited the state of Ohio many times, and at the risk of riling up Matt Hahn, no, this isn't about Dayton versus Disney, I think Skyline Chili is incredibly overrated. What do you say?
Are you saying compared to Red Star Chili or just compared to all chilies?
When I worked at Mason, RIP, they had like a banquet of some sort, and they brought in Skyline Chili, and I have heard that that is a different type of Skyline. It seemed really watery.
It's weird, yeah. It's definitely like it's one of those things that I can go and appreciate and like have like warm feelings about, but it's
Is red? What'd you say? Red Star?
Red Star Chili.
Is that better?
It's the same.
So. But I don't know. It doesn't seem any better than Texas chili.
So if I had to like go to a fast food place and eat, I would put like Whataburger at like a 9.5, and I would put those chili places at like a 6.2.
Gotcha. So only if there was nothing else for hours and
it's okay. I mean, I can hold a place in my heart as an Ohioan, but I'm with you.
I got you. Thank you.
It's kind of weird. Yeah,
that's fine. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
Matt, send your angry emails to your boss.
Yeah, there you go.
Jason Robb. All right. As a Texas transplant, I would like your thoughts on the following restaurants. Torchy's.
I liked it a lot more 10 years ago than I like it now.
Oh,
yeah,
that's great.
Yeah,
good. Chewy's.
Like. No, I like the Mexican martinis.
Oh, okay, that's different.
Yeah.
If you're going to say it's all about the creamy jalapeno,
no, it's all about the Texas the jalapeno martinis.
If you go to Chewy's to drink, I don't.
That's
care.
my favorite thing.
Iced tea and water, as we're referring to.
Yeah,
yes. Taco Cabana.
Breakfast tacos are good, but I'm not going to just like go. Let's go to Taco Cabana.
Yeah. Like on the way to Sassy, you stop there.
Or the way to Montoya's house. Yeah,
it's literally right.
There's
on
one
the
right
corner.
there.
Shout out Josh Went.
Yeah.
You already mentioned it, but Whataburger.
I love. Yep.
Yeah. Mighty Fine.
Love Heart. It's my it's my favorite Texas hamburger.
It is a darn fine hamburger.
It's a mighty fine.
It is mighty.
Yeah.
That is correct. P. Terry's.
Like
it's a good burger.
Yeah, it's way better than In-N-Out.
Oh,
see, to me, I don't compare. Like people compare In-N-Out and Whataburger. To me, they're not even on the same table.
No.
Different. P. Terry's and In-N-Out.
Oh, P. Terry's destroys In-N-Out.
But P. Terry's and In-N-Out are like the same type of place, in my opinion.
That is correct. And I do get my fries crispy at P. Terry's because they're too soggy.
And the milkshakes are better too.
I'll take your word.
California people can hate on. Don't care. The fries at In-N-Out are terrible.
They are the worst.
Tastes like styrofoam.
Why does anybody?
That's brutal.
It's awful. Rudy's Barbecue.
Like?
Yeah. Salt Lick Barbecue.
Like? Wait, well, only the one that's the South Salt Lake.
Oh, you don't like the Round Rock one?
I mean, it's okay, but it's not the same.
It's not.
It doesn't have the aged pits.
No, that's the thing. That's like a Mexican restaurant. Everything's new. It's like, I don't want to eat here. I want to taste the grease from 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Franklin's.
It's an experience and love. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Disney, right? Yeah. Pluckers.
See, I have to tell a little story.
Go for it.
Leander ISD band directors used to. We don't do it as much anymore. Used to all go to Pluckers on Friday nights after football games.
At the league line.
And we would come up to each other at football games and like basically pluck your sweatshirt, and that meant that you're gonna go pluck it.
Oh my god.
So Pluckers is okay. It's okay.
Oh, that was the story?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I like it because it's Leander ISD hang, but the food's okay.
Oh, okay. Most overrated thing about Austin. Excuse me, the Austin area.
My most overrated thing about Austin is that it's the music capital of the world. It's the garage band capital of the world. So I mean, I'm a trumpet player, and I spent a lot of time like trying to make it as a professional. So when I was in Houston, I would have gigs at least every other week.
Yeah,
that's not possible here. Like there's not an actual chamber classical music scene.
Gotcha.
It's definitely garage band music.
If you were in a ska band, you probably find
maybe, maybe.
Is ska still a thing?
I guess so.
Yeah. What's the most underrated thing about the Austin area?
I guess I would say it just the outdoor stuff that you can do, like just going hiking or going camping or whatever. I think a lot of people do know that. And the second thing, with the proximity to Fredericksburg, you can go. Wine country is amazing.
Oh, wine country. Yeah. Sure.
Good wine.
Thoughts on sparkling water, specifically Topo Chico?
Well, love, number one. The Rouse band staff runs on Topo Chico during the marching band.
Good.
We buy it by the case. Okay. So 4 years ago, I would have ranked them like this. I would have said backwards: lime first, grapefruit, mineral. And now my wife and I are now buying mineral.
Yes.
It's the same. Same thing as coffee.
The Mahler's going crazy. He must not like your discussion about Topo Chico.
Apparently. So Topo Chico to me, getting to mineral is like getting the cream and sugar out of your coffee.
Oh.
Yeah, so like I went from like highly sugared, highly cream coffee. Now I drink black coffee, so I've gotten down to the mineral Topo Chico. And I don't think you get like lime Topo Chico is a gateway Topo Chico.
It is. That's what got me into it first.
That's right.
It had to have a little taste, and then I slowly realized.
As you know, a breakfast taco and a mineral Topo Chico.
Yes.
When we flew to Midwest.
That was that we were Midwest buddies.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Other than the first time you met me at Sassy Camp, when have you felt the most starstruck?
Most starstruck. Well, the story I told you about Arian Foster and JJ Watt was probably pretty big.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, I would say that's probably just because I wasn't expecting it, and they walked in the room, and then Arian Foster like talked to me like an actual human.
Right.
That's for sure the most starstruck I've ever been.
And how much bigger are you than JJ Watt?
He's very large, a very large human. Like I could have two of me. His shoulders are so broad. He's so dreamy when you look into his eyes.
Is he?
Yeah, very dreamy.
Yeah, he's a good looking white guy.
Smells good too.
Does he? He smells good. What is he? I imagine he smells like
expensive,
freshly cut down tree,
like expensive Irish Fresh soap.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they have a different blend of Irish soap. All right, Jason. That's the one you've been waiting for. For the folks listening to us at home, in their cars, in their bathtubs, in the subway, walking their dogs at the gym, typing up invoices, waiting for results at a marching band contest, or guarding a bathroom during standardized testing, please describe in excruciating detail what shoes you are wearing.
Oh, well, I was prepared because I'm an avid
You're an
listener.
avid fan.
I actually wore my very first Ultra Boost.
With the very first one? Oh.
That I bought. So this is a 2018 Ultra Boost 4.0 Show Me Your Stripes. Actually, these were beaters, and this is the first shoe I've tried to clean. I did not have a chance to launder them because I'm going to take them to Disney.
Oh,
now,
good.
When I did clean them, though, the metallic came off the Ultra Boost insignia on the heel cup.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but they are
What color are they?
They are black, with, and the cage is black with white stripes.
Good.
And the heel cup is white to match the white Ultra Boost in the bottom. And then the heel tab is also white. But they are very comfortable. This actually, my favorite story about this shoe was last year, 2 seasons ago, we won the BOA 3A. So we got to do an exhibition at Finals.
Yes, you did.
And I was walking on the sideline with these shoes on, and you could see them from the broadcast, and you texted me about it while my band was performing. So you didn't text me about how great you said, oh my gosh, I can see your Ultra Boost from TV or from space. And then the second test was, when are you guys going to Grand Nationals? Which we're not.
Oh, well, that's another truth bomb here. All right, Dan announced that Reagan's going, and you just said we're not.
We're not going.
Gotcha. As a charter member of the Montoya Sneaker Mafia, I have a few questions for you.
I'm ready for it.
Would you call yourself a sneakerhead?
I would.
Oh, okay. How did you come into being a sneakerhead?
I've always liked shoes. So when I was younger, I really liked I remember the first Jordans that I got. Yeah, Air Force Ones. Like I remember getting that. And then just through my natural growing up and being a classical musician, I started needing to have dress shoes. So I got into Cole Haans and better dress shoes. And then marching band directors, you like to have super snazzy shoes for your kids. Right. And then honestly, because of my friendship with you, and then I just started buying new shoes, and it just swung me back. So now I've got about 15 pairs of different Adidas and Nikes that I like, and then I kind of rotate them in and out. But I definitely am starting to get my footing on what I want to do and how I want to do it.
Get your footing.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You answer the next question. How would you describe your sneaker style?
I definitely have basically two like thresholds. So like either one would be like a wearable day-to-day shoe, not like a beater, but like the shoe I have on right now is black and white. It goes with everything.
It does.
Or it's like I want like neon yellow hot. Like I bought a pair of Ultra Boost 2.0s that were pink and purple to match my marching band shoe, and that's show, and that's what I wore like at state finals. So it's either going to be something that's very wearable or something that's super extravagant.
Well, I like that. What's your most prized sneaker?
Right now, my most prized sneaker, I just got a pair of the new Ultra Boost Yeezels.
Oh.
Yeah, so I like those. Is that how you pronounce it? Yeezels? Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
They don't call them Ultra Boost.
Oh, sorry.
They're Yeezys.
I'm talking too fast. I got a pair of Adidas Yeezys, the new Yeezels.
Boost 350 V2s.
Yeah.
It could be Yeezels.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're pretty slick though.
They are black, purple.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna flex them out on the Janual.
The Janual, flex on the haters, as we say.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your fit right now. You're wearing a very smart Hamilton hoodie.
I am. I actually got this with you when we went to go see Hamilton at Midwest.
That's a very controversial topic in this household.
Oh, sorry.
Somebody is not very happy with me right now. Yeah. That is fine. What about your pants?
Oh, I am sporting the gray General Effect joggers.
Oh my gosh, you're like the first one to buy some. I think.
Yeah.
For your whole staff.
I did.
You're an early adopter.
Yeah. Well, I am definitely an early adopter. To me, being early is almost important of what I'm being early at.
That's solid.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So actually, I was cleaning the house, and this is just how I was cleaning the house today. I actually did change my sweatshirt because I was stinky from cleaning. So I wore this purposefully, but the sweats were not purpose.
Gotcha. Okay, that's good. But but you wore the sweats on purpose.
Yeah, because they're super comfortable.
You're right. You're right. So people should visit the website and buy them.
Well, my whole staff wore them at state prelims, and then we got fourth. So
that's true. That's true. And you also were named the program coordinator for the Madison Scouts. So it would seem like General Effect has done a lot for you.
No, I'm interested to see when we see a little bit of it grabbing footing in DCI camps around the globe.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy. I'm not going to say that it's the reason Vandergriff and Leander won General Effect.
But we're not going to say that it's not.
Hey, every little bit helps.
Yeah,
that's right.
Tenths, grinding out tenths.
Grind and grind. What item would you die to get your hands on if it went up for auction?
Oh, that was like a really broad question.
Okay. It's mainly specific because I said an item.
I know, but like that, like it could be anything.
It literally could be anything, but
if I would die to get my hands on.
It's just like saying like if money were no object,
money
something goes like on the news, like so and so is selling their whatever, and you're like, I want.
Yeah, the Back to the Future DeLorean.
Get out of my head. I literally was like, Back to the Future DeLorean.
Yeah.
But they had so many when they filmed it.
Well, let's just say like the key one of them.
One of them.
Yeah.
I like that.
But I want it to be one that like the inside and the outside are all detailed. Because some of the ones they use, the inside's like a stunt car.
Correct.
I want the one where like the full thing, all the parts of it are exactly like it was in the movie.
I like where your head's at on there.
They have to have at least one of those.
Correct. Jason, you are currently a part of one of the most prestigious groups in the world. A group of like-minded folk who were handpicked and personally invited. People have been clamoring for years to get into this group, and you are a member. Tell us about your experiences in the Austin Powers Fantasy Football League.
What I like to tell people about our fantasy football league is the biggest goal is to not lose. So, I mean, winning is good, but you just want to not lose. And I actually am a recipient of the Howie Vandal Losers Trophy.
You are.
It lived in my office for one full year. But I will tell you that I actually bought a team for my friend Evan Van Doren. I bought him a meal somewhere. It was the Rochester Rabbis.
That's what he was.
And when we moved cities, it's now the Rochester Robbits.
That's correct. Robbits. Yes.
And so he's back in the league. He took over another team. It's not unlike the Colts, the Indianapolis Colts.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
yes.
It is interesting. It's a hard league. There's a lot of teams, so the depth is not very deep.
No, it's not. How did your team do this year?
I had middle of the pack. I was the first team out of playoffs.
Oh,
but I also had a really busy fall. And last time we had a state year, I won the Howie Vandal. So
correct.
One out of playoffs is good.
That is correct. Why are Leander ISD band directors so bad at fantasy football?
Because we are just all in on marching band. So the better your marching band season goes, typically the worse your fantasy football team does.
Wow. So
Katie Van Doren is the first person to shake that.
Dude, well, I think that her playoff advancement is tainted.
Yeah, because she does have a lot of help apparently.
Yes, I guess we have to give it to Sean Womack and Joe Hobbs.
Yeah, I was going to say when you do Joe Hobbs' interview, whenever that happens, he is a fantasy football guru.
That's what I hear. That's why he can't get in the league.
That is exactly right.
That's right.
He's not allowed in.
No, not at all. Not at all. Jason, you've said so many nice things today, but let's see if one of them is the same. What is your life's motto?
My life's motto. That's like you just if you put something into words like that, I don't know that I have a motto.
Wow. Okay.
That's really lame.
I don't have a motto.
Yeah.
That's your motto?
My motto, I guess, I don't know. I don't think I would say be a good person would be my motto.
God.
I know, but I don't really have like a tagline.
You should be like
Daniel Montoya's motto is like, live like you're the star of your own sitcom.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Or you're the lead singer of a rock band.
That's exactly
Or you're
right.
the rye chip in a bowl of Chex Mix.
Yeah, that's
Something
right. So mine is probably like just be a good person because I'm a lame white kid.
What about like Crank On or something like that?
Mayor, Crank City, Crank On, maybe. I don't know.
That one's good. We'll take
I'll have to
that.
think about that for the next time you ask me. I'll be prepared next
Oh,
time.
wow. Okay. Great. Well, this is after we've won DCI.
That's right.
That's the plan.
That's the plan.
Yes.
Yeah.
About 7 years ago, you liked the Dan Brown Facebook page. What's your favorite Dan Brown book?
I think that it's probably Angels and Demons.
Oh, yeah. Someone should do a BOA show about that. Oh, wait, they did.
Yeah.
What advice would you offer to your 18-year-old self?
My advice would be don't work so much. I'm like a borderline workaholic. I'm working on balancing things out.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that I do a pretty good job like managing relationships with people in general, like trying to become friends and like build relationships so they make both of our lives better or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that like I could probably work at least a quarter less than I've done and have been happier, and sometimes as point of like working myself till I've been miserable.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Sure. So what is next for J. Robb?
What is next for J. Robb? Well, I'm in my 4th year at Rouse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's been like, I feel like that's the first time where I had all grades in one class.
Oh.
So like the next chapter of that is going to be interesting. And like how we make that thing, we like everyone only knows what we've done now. So when it comes to the band program, us telling them like, look how much better we made it doesn't fly anymore.
Right.
Because they're like, why is it like this? They don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
In terms of me doing drum corps and marching band stuff, just trying to continue to get better at making shows, get better at writing drill, hopefully make the Madison Scouts do really, really well, up to where we want to not just like make finals, but win a world championship.
Yeah.
My son is 9, so I'm spending a lot of time like raising him and teaching him how to be a good person and trying to spend as much of my time teaching him to be a better person too. So this would be my things, I guess.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to plug?
Anything I want to plug? No, I don't think so. I think check out the Madison Scouts. That's going to be super awesome.
It will be. Yes.
Yeah.
You don't have a website or
I do.
or a design
I do.
business?
I do. I don't need to plug that though.
Oh,
look me up.
You're
It's
just
fine.
rolling in it already.
No, I just I barely have time to deal with what I'm doing because I'm a band director. So.
Oh my God.
I know.
Jason, it has been a pleasure to have you here today. You are an absolute delight. Before we go, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you if there was anything you wanted to reveal about the 2020 Madison Scouts production.
2020 Madison Scouts production. Well, there's going to be girls on the field.
Wait, what? Women?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I don't want to reveal anything yet. We actually were, what's funny is that
What is funny?
We were going to reveal a lot of things. We were going to like tell people the composers and artists that we were going to use.
We were
going to talk about a lot of different things. And then
We sure were.
we decided to lock it up.
We just-
we're just going to lock it all up.
Wow.
Yeah. So
everyone just has to wait to see us on the field?
yeah, come see where it's the second show.
The second
That's
show?
the day after the broadcast.
Oh, right. So are we going to be on TV?
We are not going. Well, we'll be on TV eventually, but not on the broadcast.
So they got to come to, what is it, Whitewater?
They have to come to Whitewater. Yeah.
Whitewater, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Are you going to make the Scouts scouty again?
We made scout. What does that mean? What does it mean to make this? We should ask Tim Hinton. He's the one that wants the Scouts to be scouty. I think they're going to be pretty dang scouty.
Scout on.
Yeah, like what is it? Second 74, pretty scouty.
What?
Yeah, actually, second one's pretty scouty.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, me either.
It's something about 10th Avenue.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
don't know.
sure. Yeah, just trills forever.
Just trills.
Really loud trills.
On a high mellow sustain.
Yeah, just loud trills the whole time.
Yes.
It's gonna be great.
Ice castles.
Yeah.
This episode of Sketchbook Podcast is hosted by, edited by, and produced by me, Daniel Montoya Jr. in Austin, Texas. Our logo is created by John Suh of Purpose Designs, and our music is provided by Epidemic Sound. If you enjoy Sketchbook, tell a friend about the show or share a link on social media. You can rate and review this show on Apple Podcasts, and you might find your review featured on a future episode. Got questions, comments, suggestions, or concerns? Email us at sketchbookpodcast@gmail.com. It too could be featured on a future episode. Be sure to follow us on Twitter @SketchbookPod and join the Sketchbook community on Facebook @Sketchbook Podcast. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to Sketchbook Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Anchor, or wherever fine podcasts are downloaded. Thanks for listening.